You guys don't know who Reggie is already. He's the oldest of the five Wooten brothers, Victor Wooten's oldest brother, and I consider him a grandmaster and really one of the greatest guitar players alive. One of the best slap guitar players, tapping guitar players, sweeping, really one of the most creative musicians alive. So if you don't know who that is, make you dig in and learn as much as you can. I would highly recommend taking lessons with him as well. Yeah, I
Okay.
was reading
Mhm.
the books that you had recommended for me, which is this one, The Secret Power of Music by David Tame. Um,
Yes.
I'm in there. I'm still in the beginning, and they're talking about ancient Chinese civilizations and how this maybe was some of the highest form of music theory at that time, like in ancient times, that they rose to such a high level, and that everything they did was supposed to be reflecting the cosmos and the cosmic tone, which is they call the word, and so
Yeah.
that's this, that the court, like the 12 notes are from relating to the 12 zodiac, and that they always played in the key and the hour. So the key they played in was with the month that was in that zodiac, and whether it was yin or yang, and also with the 12 moons cycles. I
Yes.
think there's some thing I'm reading just this night, but I'm just curious about this stuff. So what can you say about the original construct of music in relation to the cosmos and how it was purposefully created in that way? Because a lot of people don't realize that, why is it the way it is, the theories, and like it's already set up with this 12, all this stuff. So yeah, what do you have to say about that?
Um, I'm not exactly sure what question, but I think in the general tone is like you're talking about ancient China, but back then, really prior to 1776, around the world, if you study when everybody declared independence, it's right around 1776, Australia 1777, something like that. All right around 75, 77, all around the same time. But right prior to 1776, the world was matriarchal. Now it's patriarchal with the men ruling. It used to be a feminine concept. During the feminine concept, this is where we get Mozart, Beethoven, Brahms, Haydn, Bach, Franz Liszt, all working for the king. So it was during that time, after 1776, that disappeared. So what happens is you have to study the church. The church means the feminine side. Okay, the church means when you walk into the church, you have the womb. You see what I mean? It means you're walking in the womb. You're supposed to come out reborn, right? Then when the men got in power, the patriarchal side, they put the steeple, the phallic symbol of the man. They put the steeple on top, show that dominance or some type of symbolism of what direction they were going. But if you look at the Parthenon in Greece or something like that, those are big tombs, those are big cathedrals, and they got Athena inside, like we have here in Nashville, 40-foot tall women, and there's no steeple on top. You see, I mean, they still, so those women kept their divinity. You see what I mean? You go inside the Parthenon here in Nashville, they got 40-foot, the largest indoor statue in America is in the Parthenon in Tennessee, 40-foot tall. She's covered with gold. After 911, they covered her in gold. She has Nike, that's another woman in her hand. You see what I mean? And then she's got Medusa, another woman on her chest. She's got a snake, that's a symbol for female, the curve. You see what I mean? Then she's got Medusa on the shield, got a big snake on her side. It's all this feminine symbolism. You see what I mean? So, and they don't have the steeple on top. So now when the women were ruling, they were just trying to be so in tune. That system was trying to be in the beginning before it got corrupt and weak, so in tune with nature. You see what I mean? They were trying to see how nature worked. They claimed to be so skilled, from China to Mongolia to Egypt, ancient America, which is Atlantis and all that, Lemuria. To get ancient American stuff, you're gonna have to go back to Atlantis, which is on the west side of the Mississippi, and Lemuria, which is on the east side. And the two oceans, Pacific Ocean is Lemurian Ocean, Atlantic is the Atlas or Atlantis Ocean, with islands that sunk. You see what I mean? If somebody wants to study that, you know, Lemuria sunk in Pacific Ocean, the island of Capricorn, and Atlantis sunk in the Atlantic Ocean. But that's where you get that. You start studying that. Now they call it myth, same as mysticism. This MY, Mrs. Mr. and Mrs. His story, Miss story. So that just means female. Just like your wife is Mrs. whoever. Also ties into the Mississippi River, right? Which ties into the Bible. Genesis, ISIS. That's the real ISIS. Is the Mississippi River. M, serpent. ISIS, ISS. Okay? I know I'm going fast. People won't get it right away. They'll be ready to argue it. But they're only arguing because they haven't studied yet. A little knowledge is a dangerous thing. If you look into something, then truth is always stranger than fiction. You see what I mean? Just like playing a guitar. You see what I mean? You get into the guitar, it's got so much stuff in there. You got things and terms you never even heard of, techniques. You see me? It's totally stranger than fiction, the way it works. So, you know, this has come with a long, many years of constant study. You know, when I sleep, I'm thinking about it. When I'm awake, I'm thinking about it, because I try to be follow this music thing like 360 degrees. You know what I mean? So I can adapt the philosophy and reap the benefits. And so maybe music can reap the benefits for whatever it gave me the music, so it must want something in return. So I'm trying to help it out. But going back to your question, back then they were just so in tune with nature, and they claimed that they understood the material world, they understood the afterworld. You see what I mean? The afterworld was divided into two parts. It had the lower region, you know, somebody like Neptune. It had the higher region, you know, like Zeus or whatever. They claimed to have knowledge, and some people had mastery over that. You see what I mean? People like you know, like, so in the matriarchal society, just the stories and the science, they consider it science. We consider them stories. But that was their science, the Egyptians and stuff like that. That was their science, painted on stone walls. The things they said they could do, they could go, like gods can only like pretty much stay in their realm. The lower gods pretty much stay in their lower realm, just very rare occasion coming up, if it was them at all. Same thing with the higher gods. But then humans, you know, if they master themselves, people like Enoch, you see what I mean, could go in all you know, in the Bible, he went to the upper realm, came back twice. You got Hermes, who go into the underworld, above world, had wings. Mercury, he's Mercury also, so he could fly into the higher world. And then Hermes is known for going to the underworld and bringing back the guitar. So they could master those worlds. Same thing with Elijah, same thing with Jesus. You see what I mean? Jesus descended into the underworld, got rid of that, went to the above world. So, you know, they claim that mastery over the ancient world, claimed mastery. They labeled the zodiac. They wrote the seas. You know, they drew maps of the seas. Look at the matriarchal kingdoms. They've got continents on their maps that we don't have today. You know, continents that go past Antarctica. They talk about the land of Agartha, you know, which to me just means art. It's just a long way to spell the word art. But Agartha and the king of Agartha, the king of the world. But they got all that stuff mapped out. You see what I mean? Revelations tells you what's going to happen in the future. See, they mapped out the future. They mapped out the past. So I just want to study to see how to do that. And with music, I've done that. So we know the patriarchal society because that's where we are now. But we should study more of the matriarchal, the past, and that's where you get into Mrs. instead of his story all the time. Mysticism, mystery, you know, Mrs. So that I
Wow.
hope that answers your question that way. The ancients, China, all of them, they had another system of mastering and outlining what was going on. Whether they did it or I don't know, but they claim they did. I think they did.